Hello, my friends. It's Kate in the Nest, and I am so happy to have you with me. I hope you're well. It's Sunday morning here, and I am very excited. I love a Sunday morning stitch, but I'm doing something a little bit different this morning, so I thought I would bring you along on the story with me. So this time next week, I will be in Melbourne. And a year ago, when I went to Melbourne for Fleur's Woods' workshop, I made this tote bag. It has become really my everyday carry, especially for stitchy things. So much so that one of the handles popped off. When was I carrying something too heavy? On Friday, and I haven't had time to fix it. But I thought I'd show you this particular tote bag and then show you through what I'm making to take to Melbourne, because yes, I love it so much. It's so handy, practical, and yep, I just love doing stuff like this when I'm motivated and have a specific project. So this was made out of a vintage blanket mohair that I actually got on my Oppie tour last year. So it's a real anniversary, if you like, in a way. I chopped out two fronts, or two of these bits, two sides, and a base. Now, I didn't measure, I just got one of my favorite other size bags, and I do really love this because my laptop fits in, all my pouches, it'll carry my pocket, all of that sort of stuff, and I will take it, the new one, with me to the studio every day. So I actually machine stitched it, and I'm going to take you to that, and then I embellished it, and I ended up on this one just doing the top of it. So again, the story is of little patches. There's a lot of Rachel's fabric in this one, and in fact, when Rachel from Roxy's Creations saw this in December last year, she talked about the significance of some of this writing, meaning flowers, etc. So vintage trim, vintage baby dress under there, and unfinished embroidery that I had not done. Same bit of beautiful vintage on this side. The same bobble, a doily that I left the fringe, the same vintage. This is Rachel's linen. I haven't got any of that left anymore, so I'll be using fabrics that I have in my current stash, and probably ones that I've got recently or I might be taking to Melbourne with me. On top are the infamous swans that I got this time last year, and they are indeed, if you haven't seen this bag before, it just makes me smile because I have this beautiful shell button, and that becomes the closure. If I had the other handle on, you'd see how effective that was. And then inside, I put one of my mum's beautiful pouches that makes me smile because there's an owl. Oh my gosh, an owl for October. All these signs are coming through, and it's a zipper. I just actually secured this one at the top of each side, and it hangs. Oh, and look, I just carry a pen in there always. You know how handy it is. So it really is an everyday carry, nice and deep. And then on this side, I had a doily as a gift from Beck from Sobe, and I have the cup somewhere else, but I put this script here, and I just love that. It truly, it's amazing, the psychological effect of me picking up this bag and it's saying good morning to me. So that's my words to you right now. Good morning or good afternoon or evening. I hope you are in your happy place. And yeah, aren't we lucky? I just feel blessed. And I know I say that a lot, but I'm not going to stop because just look at that. Sharing that with me in this community has made me happy. So I went to my cupboard of blankets, which isn't a whole cupboard full. I have collected mohair since this one, but this one is really the best because it's the thickest and it's almost felted because it's been washed the wrong way, obviously. Oh, I wonder if I could do that. Anyway, it's thick. My other ones also are the wrong color. I have, another, yeah, I won't go into that bag. I love bags. Okay, so that's that one. I'm going to take the elements of what I loved about this one and not replicate because I've moved on, but I want to have a memory bag from October 2025. So the best blanket I found in my stash was this one, and I am going to, as I say, when you are lucky enough to have blankets, you start to think about the strength and the thickness. So this was an off-cart that I had enough to make another bag with. So here we go. I thought I'd take you from the beginning because sometimes people say we didn't see how you did that. So you may not be interested at all in this. Okay, this is a genuine used blanket because look at the blanket stitch on top. It has started to wear, and I like to feature that because this is sustainability, this is upcycling, and this is like many who make coats out of blankets and vests and everything, this bag already has a story. So what have I done so far? This is one of the sides. Oh, I've just realized I've put that to the inside, but that doesn't matter. I was hoping, oh, it is a bit on there. So that's the size, like that and like that. And I have cut two of those, like there. And if you want to make your own bag, I really suggest you just go, well, I'm a bagaholic, but I was going to say if you love bags, just be like me and go to your cupboard or wardrobe and find something that you like the size of and copy that rather than looking up a pattern and following it precisely, which I can't do. I go by instinct, and that this works for me. Okay, so two pieces like that. You need two which account to that and that. Two sides and a base is where we're up to. So these are my sides, that one will go either way, and I have gone ahead and stitched my base in. And yes, you can see I machine stitch just to save time. You could hand stitch, but I will be doing so much slow stitching on this that I've run it up. Now, because this isn't all that thick, a blanket, I have actually doubled the blanket here, and I had some leftover, what is this called? Mesh blanket sheet that I got from Spotlight when I was doing a different bag. So I have, for the first time, I'm experimenting, I've popped a piece of that in there. It doesn't go the whole length, but hey, that's Katie. I couldn't wait to go, and this one's thicker than that one. I couldn't wait to go to a shop, so I've just put that in there, and whether it's needed or not, it's just 2 layers of blanket and a little bit of reinforcing down the bottom. So all it's taken so far is to put the 2 bits of blanket together, which I realized I could have done all in one line, and then put them to the sides. So that's where I'm up to. I'm going to disappear for a while and come back with most of the construction done, or who knows when I'll come back. But I'll see you soon. Bye. Okay, I'm back. And I'm glad this isn't real time because that took a little bit longer than I was planning to do. Because, you know, my machine, I love it for its speed, but when something goes wrong, it really goes wrong. So first I ran out of bobbin thread, and then I went to rethread the bobbin, and I had it going the opposite way, so it wound under the bobbin instead of on the bobbin. And you know, just this is the life of Kate. I have all of this thread now in beautiful circles, but it was under the bobbin, so that's in my ort jar now. And then, you know, those things. But suffice to say, now I have a front, a back, sides, and a base with reinforcement. So that's an exciting part to be. So what do we consider next? Lots of things. Now I wanted to say, I do this, my method is I like now to design the bag so that I can see the proportion with the handles, etc. So if I go back to this one, originally I had planned to go all over this bag, but because of the beauty of this texture, I ended up picking and just keeping it along here. I don't think that will happen with this bag, but we will see. The other thing is I could go ahead now and put my handles on, but they will get in the way. But I am going to get an idea of where they might be placed so that I can be thinking about, you know, the dimensions. So here I'm just measuring where I had there. Doesn't that Swanee look nice there? Yeah, really accurate, Kate. So how will I mark that? Let's just do a pin. So roughly around here. Get that out of the way. Here are my next handles that I'm going to use. I have to solve the, can I get them unscrewed part? Oh yeah, I can, because they're attached to each other. I'm sorry, there's the old, oh goodness, the wind has, since I started filming and time has gone by, the wind has whipped back up again. All my flowers from my crabapple you have gone, but I've got the dogwood still in front of me. Okay, so that's a little sort of thing how it's going to look. So this won't last. I'd be better to do a pen. Is this yeah, one of those ones? Actually, let's do a mark sort of there. And a mark sort of there. And translate that to there. And to there. So nothing accurate. It's all approximate, but I do like, last time I made a sleeve for them to go inside, and I think I will repeat that, and we will see how everything goes. But there you are. That's, well, it's high up there, but that's vision. Okay. Now, are these my favorite colors? Not really. But the beauty of blanket is that it's all, well, you could be doing this with any fabric, couldn't you? But it's all in your hands. So I've been, as I was stitching and unpicking, thinking about what I might do here. Now, you may notice I'm I'm a lazy machine stitcher. This is in black because I always stitch my journals in black. So it didn't change, but I have lots of potential to bind, to blanket stitch, over stitch. So I'm not worried about the black showing. And it's about, at this stage, I think, well, Kate, you've got a blank canvas here and on the back. We won't worry about the base. If you want to, you could embellish the sides because, you know, with blanket, every time you put a fabric on top, it makes it stronger. Now, one of my bags, I did put the plastic in the side, but I don't favour it. I do like it floppy, but I am thinking if I needed extra, you know, if I wasn't happy, like when we do a nest, I could be hand stitching more blanket. I also have this possibility of using this remains as pockets inside, which will cover any stitching and also give bulk. So could there be anything more exciting? I don't think so. I'm almost, yeah. Okay, so let me show you what I've grabbed over here. Part of this process of always, you know, making a project and thinking of the next place I will go is about using the things that are in my stash and on my mind. So I'm zipping over here. Now this is the, if you've been following me, can we pause and celebrate that I found this little pocket and I've put her in there, and she's going to have my threader in there and my travel snip scissors when I'm on the plane going to India, but that's another story. But if you remember, this was inspired by a happy mail from Bron, who lives in Melbourne. And I still have some of her trims left. So I thought somewhere on here, I'm going to use some Bron trims. And I've just got out some of them. So look, that's beautiful. I haven't used that yet. So it's got sequins there if I want a bit of bling, or the back is just as beautiful. This one, now did this come from Bron or somewhere else? So I've just pulled a few things, and you'll say, Kate, none of those colors match. And no, they don't. But there's all sorts of things. Some will speak more. This is Kristen's. I do like that one with these colors as well. What else have I got over here? This one, which has got that amazing weave on it. And this one, back from my first horsewhip. And this represents, you know, first going into Marigold's Interiors in St Kilda. So that's a memory of Melbourne this time last year, because I hadn't seen anything like this in my hands. The other thing I've been playing with and interested in, as you might know, is I've got some of this leftover beautiful quilt that came in a quilter's kit. And again, the colors don't match, but I do have enough scraps that if I wanted to use some pieces, I'm just checking that you could see, that I could use some pieces on here and also stiffen the fabric up. I've got that opportunity. What that does stop me doing though is embellishing all over the top. And I don't think I want to do red on this piece. So I'd be maybe looking at harvesting that bit, because the green, a little bit of the red and the neutrals. So that's what I'm thinking about. And even more so, so many people are making their own patchwork blocks on YouTube at the moment. And did I get this one from Beck? I think I did. How about the idea that I explore patchwork on here? I'll just stand up and see what you're seeing. But, you know, there's this natural part of me that says you've got squares, and why don't you treat the squares individually to make a patchwork of its own? So it's like a quilt panel, and treat each of the squares. And then if I don't get it finished, when I'm down there, I can be adding. So with that in mind, I've got, I didn't cut this for this reason, but I've got, this is that vintage sheeting that I got out at Orange. I've got these beautiful little bits already cut from don't know, Doll's House Vintage. These could be supposed to be in my kits, I don't know. But that's an idea. I also have this little panel that I was actually stitching when we were in New Zealand earlier in the year, and I never got it done. But that's that stuff that if I have that stuck, I can stitch. Okay, sorry, that was just a little aside, but I like the idea of I don't know. Can you see how my mind is thinking? Is there a way I can grow a garden with squares? I don't know. Because the other thing is I've got this, Vanessa, you have so inspired me with this piece. It's been on so many things. I like, this came from oh, I've forgotten, Willow May, as a gift last year, and I've worn it on my shirts, and I've tried to replicate it, but I'm not such a tiny person. But, you know, some dangles to go 3D. So that's so pretty. So pretty. And then another thought is I do have some hearts floating around. And I've got some itty bits. There's another heart. So, I don't know, but maybe that one that tells a story. There's, I call it Mary Mary. There's the swan. And then where was, you know, could I develop, this is different to the square idea, but could I make that a feature and then grow my garden around? Because the other thing I also have is some Happy Mail that contained, look at this, this is from Michelle McKillop. Oh my gosh, look at this, and it's still got the wherever it came from, and that could become my feature fabric, because Michelle lives in Melbourne, I think, as well. In Victoria, I know. Sorry, Michelle. I'll see you on, what day am I seeing? Michelle's coming on Friday to my Friday workshop. I wouldn't use all of that, but if I cut, I just have to trim that beauty. I love, love, love that. So we make this piece go as far as possible. Look at that hole. Actually, what was this? Because it's like a curved seam. Anyway, love that. And here's me talking about not using red. So I need to tea stain this a little bit and work it more. But look at even that. These are feed sacks. We're just going to have a play because I've got my little stash over here. Well, not a stash. No, I think we'll go more colour. I've also got little things like this hand. Remember I showed you this? I got this in orange. I wonder if I'm in a stripy squarey mood for this bag. I'll start making log cabins. Oh, I'm so excited. I wonder what you're thinking. What do you hear? And you're saying to me, okay, do this, do that. That's a little scrap. That's from a snippet roll. That's Rachel's fabric. I wonder if I mean, it would be lovely to take a story with me. I feel very strongly that I have to feature a part of that. Maybe cut it to a third. And look at me, I'm doing the top first. The top first. Okay, what have I got so far? I'm liking fabrics that are more dense. I actually have to, where's that little embroidery gone? There. So maybe I have to use one of my itty bitties. To launch the garden. That's my husband with a very loud sneeze in. Because you remember I like something at the top. So why don't we think, now this is bulky, but it actually will make the, so this is one of my mini makes and I've got the blanket behind it. I could take a bit of that blanket off. Will I commit to that? Because it's sort of square with flowers, then I could have the flowers join. I don't know. I won't cut that yet. Definitely, but not in this shape. Definites. Not sure this idea. What else can I commit to before I leave you? Yes, that's a scrappy bit. You can see I love these, and I've got to use some of that. I've got some of this. Oh, how amazing, feed sack, and this is Indian block print, and that, they're going together well. So we've got some pinks and greens, we've got some golds and sunshine, pinks and reds. This is green, as you know. Put that there. What else have I got? Oh, there's a bit of my O from before. Yes, I've sacrificed half of that, but it's already beaded and it's got a bit of blue on it. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. I'm whispering because I'm already thinking that I want to do this instead of getting ready. But we can do everything. What have I got on this bit? Might harvest. I don't want to cut that. Maybe it's time to absolutely unhook this beautiful piece. Take that with this. That will take that bit as a whole. And so not for this piece, but that goes in my very special creamy vintage bits. And then, oh, I've got that part. I'll just get this. There's another little bit there that could go on. I know you worry, but I made this and it didn't work on the piece I had it. So now she's having a new consideration, never to be thrown away. I need to find some fringes for this bag. Oh, and I love that little bit. And actually, while I've got you, I've just remembered, see, something like that, I'll unpick that, but it can go and give bulk again in the corner. I've still got, I need to use some of this in my kits. Vintage. I was just thinking about the frill, which I've used somewhere else. Would that go with these colours because it's vintage? Oh, yes. Oh. Okay. I think that's a crazy picture to end with, but Some ideas are coming together, aren't they? I probably lost some special ones, but there we go. And that's just one side, because I think maybe I will look at it in these squares, even though I want to put the trimming on straight away. Thank you so much for being my inspiration. It's lovely to talk out loud as we create and dream. Now, you probably have nothing like this in mind at the moment, but thank you for spending your precious time with me. And who knows how often I'll get to film as I get closer. This time next week, I will be away from the nest in my in my temporary nest in Melbourne. See, that would be nice down there, because it's got, anyway, I will stop now, and that's it. So this is my tote bag with wooden handles. Getting ready to travel. Okay, bye.